Thanks for tuning in to Lola.com's intern podcast, Internal Affairs. Before we get started, we'd love to invite you to the Lola.com Agile Operations Summit on November 6th in Boston, Massachusetts. Have you ever wondered why there isn't an event that's built for and celebrates the finance and ops people on your team? Well, now there is. With inspiring and educational speakers such as Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, thought-provoking discussion, lots of good food, and tons of fun, this event is a surefire home run.
And for all of our listeners out there, we'd love to give you $100 off. Simply use the code FINANCEHAPPY to get $100 off. At a finance and ops conference, it's only apt that we try to help you save some money. And because Lola loves its student interns so much, just like us too, we want you to come for free. Use the code FREELUNCH because hey, you will get some free lunch out of it. Go to lola.com/AOS to buy your tickets today.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lola.com studios in Boston, Massachusetts. This is Internal Affairs, the Lola.com intern podcast, episode 8. I'm Jack Ablon here with my co-host Ramsel Gonzalez.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome as always, and our guest today is Steven Garcia. Welcome.
Thank you. How you two doing?
We're good.
I'm good. It's it's not even hump day yet, but I'm already feeling the hump day slump. So I'm grinding.
So, Steven, you are an engineering intern here. You work closely with Dennis, who is, what's his title now?
So, under his it says CTO. I'm
CTO-ish.
Yeah, CTO-ish. I
thought Paul was.
Yeah, I'm like, did he hand it off and I just didn't know, but he's more of like one of the lead backend engineers with like a whole lot of years of experience.
I heard someone use the term chief architect for his title, and
yes.
I think that title is so cool.
That's
and
sick.
Yeah.
I hope one day I have a title like that.
That says chief.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's chief, but the word architect, but like you're talking about like systems, is so cool.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
All right, well, so Steven, you are at UMass Boston. What's your major? It's system administration, I believe, yeah?
No, so I actually study computer science right now. I only need 5 more classes before I graduate in the spring, but I know.
Congrats. Rooting for you.
I also have my associates in the system administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, that makes sense. So you love tinkering with electronics. That's one thing we talked about. Tell us some about that.
All right, so quick story. I remember when I was 5 years old, and you know the old set-top boxes that had like the numbers right on that you could just change the channels through that?
Yeah.
And it was black.
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember when I was 5, I just started opening those up, and then my mom would look at me, and she would be like, "Muchacho, what are you doing?" I'm like,
I'm learning.
nothing. Yeah. So just imagine, it's like that. But besides that, I worked a little with like Arduino boards and Raspberry Pi.
So we've gotten to do a fun Raspberry Pi project. We're not gonna release too much info, but
NDAs.
Yeah, NDAs are in place.
Clouding
but in the new office, just know that Steven and I have had some cross-functional work on something fun for the sales team. So
coming soon, TBH.
So you're saying those cable boxes were some of the first things you ever broke apart?
Yes, it was.
It was. What are some of the other things that
keyword on broke.
Yeah. Okay. Taken apart and then hopefully rebuilt. Maybe. Were there any other things that like you were able to take apart that you felt really proud that you were like, oh, I get now this goes here and that goes there, and you're able to break apart and pull back together?
Well, besides a computer, car, and a motorcycle.
You took apart a car.
Well, not completely, not 100%. I'm not gonna
Right.
go pick up the engine and then put it back in.
A little heavy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have any of the heavy machinery, but
Right.
but yeah, like so I built my first computer back in 2012 when I had my one of my first part-time jobs, and I just started saving up, and I was very proud of it. I was like, all right, I'm buying the motherboard here, I'm buying the chassis, and put it all together. It took me like a couple of hours, and then
All right. Important question though.
An accomplishment.
Did it have a glow? Did it have the LED light on it?
Yes.
Of course it does.
It
Every
has
person who
to.
builds a computer has to have the glow on it.
Now, if I did liquid cooling, I would have put a little bit of solution in there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Made it like red.
I'm just gonna act like I have any idea what you guys are talking about.
No, just
but-
literally just like an LED. You know how like people have cars and they have like underneath they have like
Yeah,
the LED. It's
yeah.
like the same thing with the computer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like the neon lights.
Yeah.
So it's like the kind of like try-hard version of that.
Yeah,
where
it's like the
I'm
mark
trying to
I
make a
built
point.
this.
Yeah.
You have to put the LED light in it.
You mentioned cars and motorcycles, though. You're very interested in that. Why don't you tell us some about kind of how you found that interest and what you're doing with that now?
It's after I purchased my first car. So my first car is was a 2005 Acura TLX. Sorry, not TLX, TL Black. So
Big
yeah,
distinction.
yeah. No, because here's the thing. There's like the the Hondas and everything, and then there's like Acura. You look at it, you're like, dang, that's like the upper class version of a first car. And then I was like, I got to do a lot with that car. I got to take it apart, change the rims, brakes, etc. I learned how to do a lot of things because of that car. And that car brought me a lot of joy. I'll tell you that
Nice.
much.
That's cool. What's your favorite thing to work on with a car or motorcycle? Like, what's your favorite thing that you like to manipulate or change out or something like that?
Honestly, it would be adding in any type of components that I want, or like changing the lights and stuff. Because you have some flexibility to control like what you want to add. All you have to do is just change a few wirings, possibly make a hole here and there, and then bam. One thing I'm trying to look in to do with my car actually, which is a 2018 TLX, is I want to like put like a speaker right under the back seat. A few of them. You already know how Dominicans are, so bong bong.
Yeah, it's like the reggaeton's bumping. It's just like,
Yeah.
like you feel it in your heart.
There's whole trucks in Dominican Republic where they have just dedicate whole music, and we're talking about like 100 speakers or something like that.
Jeez.
Brutal.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the cars are not that good, so it's like completely rattling, but they need to have their loud bass.
Yeah.
So you're like gunning for a citation from the Boston police is what you're saying. Like, that's the goal for you?
Well, I don't know how I don't have one yet. I got 20% tints on my sides and 5 in the back. I'm already like under the legal average.
That's really
Yeah,
funny.
you're really stretching it. That's crazy.
Mm.
So you love to. I'm assuming you also love to drive. It's not just the car and the building of the car. I'm assuming you enjoy taking like, I won't call them joy rides, but do you ever take your car out to just like far away? I mean, it's not like an off-road thing, but do you like to go on like any road trips, or are there places that you like to drive out to?
Yeah, I mean, I actually do enjoy going on long trips, but I haven't been able to do it much lately. Especially when I had the motorcycle too, I would just like go out to random places far away, like, and just enjoy the breeze. Like, especially like on a motorcycle, you get to feel that air.
What's like your ideal drive? Like, where's a place and like time of day, time of year that you'd love to be driving?
Honestly, it would be the countryside.
Yeah?
Like on obviously like nice paved roads.
Yeah,
that way I
yeah,
can take the
yeah.
motorcycle out, but
Right.
like I get to see like lakes, like a lot of like trees and nature, and like the air is different.
Do you like middle of the day or like sunrise, sunset? What do you want? What's your ideal?
Honestly, it'd be any time. But not
Big
not
driving guy.
Like, yeah, just not at night when I'm tired. Like
Yeah,
right?
no, that's
Yeah.
a
Scary.
bad combo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any? So you're like a big tinkerer, like to build things. Do you have any goals of building like non-electronic things? Like I'm kind of really like, I'll go on Facebook or something and I'll see videos of people like building a shed out of nothing, and I'm invested. I'll sit there
Cool.
for like 10 minutes like, yeah, this is good. Do you ever have dreams of like doing stuff like that where you're building your own, I don't want to say house, but like, you're kind of doing stuff like that?
Well, to be funny that you mention it, I do want to actually purchase a house within the next couple of years and then do stuff like that, like build like a shed or like redo the kitchen, etc. Yeah, I mean, my passion for tinkering around it extends more than like just with like electronics. It's for everything. Actually, like I'm the handyman now. So if nobody can do the job, it's like, yeah, it's Steven. He could probably screw that back on or whatever.
That's cool. It's a good skill to have.
Change the light bulb, change the battery in the fire alarm, open the pickle jar.
Well, you definitely take plenty of initiative. I know something else we've talked about where you take a lot of initiative is you actually registered your own business. So why don't you tell us something about that?
Yeah, so there was a point in time where unfortunately I wasn't able to go to school because of financial aid reasons.
That hustle.
Yeah. So basically, during that time, what I did was I opened up my business, which was like software consultation and development. And like I had to register in the Quincy area too. So they were like, yeah, you can't have cars parked outside over there. I'm like, that's fine. It's just my house.
Just me.
Yeah, just me. Like, so I just did that. And I also made like a couple of crypto investments during that time as well.
Cool. So you kind of just used the business as like an umbrella for all your like side work that you were doing just to get some extra money?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, good for you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see that you're able to kind of take a not great situation and turn it into a positive. That's sort of like the good entrepreneur.
Especially involving one of his passions too,
Right,
which
yeah.
is tinkering with things and consulting people on
Were
his
there-
interests.
Were there ever any people that were just completely like unconsultable, or they just would not listen to you?
Yeah, because one, I would tell them the pricing, and then they're like, I mean, this is like I'm like charging you something on the lower end. Like
Right.
I'm probably taking like more of a hit compared to like what other people would charge you for, let's say, building the front page of your website.
Right.
Yeah, like honestly, yeah, these days you could go to Squarespace or whatever, but like if you want something that is custom made, that you have full control and access to, then you wanna have somebody build it from the ground up.
And you gotta pay for it.
Yeah, and you gotta pay good money for it.
Right. Yeah. If you want Squarespace, sure, but you're not gonna get a whole lot out of it.
Exactly.
All right. We want to do a quick round of questions because we want to get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready for this?
It's a rapid fire question round.
Shoot.
You want to hit us off first?
Yeah. So if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? I know we've talked about you have a bunch of places you want to visit, so why don't you give us like your number one, and then if you can give us a few others you definitely want to see too.
Okay, so number one, I'm definitely gonna have to go back to DR because I still got family out there, and then I want to go to the resort. I haven't been there in years. Two would be Tokyo, Cuba, Italy, and wait, how many more you want?
I mean, you
You can give one more.
go
if you
off,
want.
King.
Yeah.
Just keep
And Colombia.
In Colombia. Very cool. Yeah, no, I was recently in DR. Not recently, it was a year ago. It was a good time.
That's semi-recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
First time
That
since I was
counts.
like 2 years old. It was super crazy, so you'll enjoy it.
interesting experience, right?
Oh yeah, I was not ready. It was like just driving, like I would never.
When was the last time you were back there?
Oy.
I mean, yeah, same, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. It's all good. All right. So you're a big eater, you're a big foodie, self-proclaimed foodie, I would imagine. What is your favorite lunch spot around the office?
Around the office. Honestly, like Jack was mentioning earlier, Tenoch is a pretty good spot. Like,
And what is that specifically for those who don't know?
so it's they have their own restaurant, but it's a food truck that comes around. If you check online, you'll see it. They actually have the cash up front, so they're very trusting.
That's what
people.
I thought was so interesting. You
Yeah.
go up to this place and they have the window and you just tell them what you want, and then they just start making it. You see the prices on the board, and they have literally their open cash register on the panel coming
This is
out.
like honor system, and you
Yeah,
Like,
you just-
you lift up the things, like put your money in, all that stuff.
Oh.
Like they're not paying any attention to it.
So you can just
People
like, walk
use
away.
it and left a ton of
yeah,
tips
but
too,
people
so-
don't because they've developed trust with their client base to know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and the food was great.
Right. You don't disrespect good food like that.
The chorizo torta is a must-have.
There we go.
Yeah, no, what did I eat? Oh no, I ate the chicken burrito that they had, and then I was like, wow, that's one of the things I love eating.
Burritos.
I remember mentioning this to you before. There's a couple of food trucks that pop up at night in the South Bay area that they focus like on something like Dominican cuisine. So
Cool.
like there's this hamburger called chimichurri.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
that is
good.
bomb. Like you
chimichurri.
have to eat that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You're also known to be a sneakerhead. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Where does your loyalty lie in terms of brand? Do you have a brand or like that you swear by? Like these are like my shoes. You know, some people are J's, some are straight Air Forces. Where do you lie?
In high school, I used to be like a big Jordan and Nike SB Dunkhead, but now whatever shoe appeals to me, I'll purchase. Right now, I'm actually not wearing shoes. I'm wearing my slides. I was gonna come in.
I had to confirm. Like, oh yeah, I didn't wear shoes.
I was gonna come in with my Jordan 1's Spider-Man Origin, but then when I opened the box and I see that they weren't laced, I was like, all right, let me throw it back into my car.
Right. Yeah, no time for that. Just put on the slides.
Yeah, just no time for that. But I actually just recently purchased my first pair of Yeezys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Are they real? They real?
Of course.
You always got to make sure.
Yeah.
Do you have real Yeezys? That's great, man.
Cool.
Yeah, no. What sort of inspired you to like kind of expand your palette in terms of sneakers? It just,
Coloring and style.
Okay.
Yeah. If the more sneakers you have, different colors, different shapes, etc., the more options you have in terms of your wardrobe.
And how many pairs do you think you own?
Sneakers, probably. Well, the fancy ones, I can say like about 10.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that's not bad considering.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
For someone who loves to do that, that's reasonable.
Well, the thing is, it's also a little expensive. So.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Do you ever resell, or like you strictly just buying and wearing?
I buy and wear them, but I would alternate. Sometimes I'd also wear like this is a separate one. I got like another 10 pair of like beater shoes that I would just like throw on.
The beater shoes.
Yeah.
I got mine on right now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I only have one pair, and they're my everyday shoe.
Cool. Well, last question here. Favorite music to vibe out to, and dance if you're up for that too.
Dance. It would be.
That's a whole different story, right?
Yeah, that's a whole different story because I don't know how to dance it that well, but I'll throw some salsa.
But you'll
out
try.
there. Yeah, I'll try. Some bachata. I've been working a little more on that lately because that's something that I just never grew up really dancing. But what I like to bump to is usually like rap, reggae, R&B, this Dominican music called Dominican genre, urban music.
Give us like your top 2 or 3 artists.
At this very
Yes,
moment,
you can.
Yeah.
Top 2 or 3. That's an interesting question because I actually don't have like a top artist. Like whatever, it's like whatever song that appeals to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fine,
Go
man.
with the flow.
Yeah. Like for example, like bachata, when you're in that mood where you just want to like drink and like
And you put on the classics.
Yeah, you put on the classic too.
Right, because that's what everybody gets people going. It's just like the classics.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for indulging us. So, there is an interesting thing where we currently live in the seaport. Not we don't live, but I guess Lola lives in the seaport, and it's an interesting place because it's sort of been developed like crazy in terms of
crazy.
It's new.
It's like brand new. It's like a new island.
You can walk like 3 corners in any direction and be in some place you probably have never been before
and probably didn't exist a year
it's
ago.
like absurd. It's crazy.
So how do you feel like as a person? I think you've mentioned before that you sort of been affected by like kind of the changing landscape of Boston and how things are getting more expensive, rent is getting wild. Like how do you feel like Boston needs to combat those issues as the city continues to develop?
So to be honest with you, I'm quite saddened at the fact that rent is just going through the roof. A lot of places are getting demolished to redevelop condominiums, and it's kicking a lot. It's been kicking a lot. A lot of people have to migrate out. I was born and raised in a city, and unfortunately, I don't even live in the city anymore. Like I would love to live in like the place I used to live at, East Boston, actually. Right in front of where I live, there was the entire view of Boston, so I can see everything. They actually shot like a couple of movies.
That's
by
awesome.
Where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ramsel would know the area. Right there in back of Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's wildly different right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like if you were to bring
It's all just like high rise luxury stuff now.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But like you still can like bring your girl over there and like show her like the view and shit.
Oh yeah, the view. It's like honestly the best view of Boston. Like,
exactly.
hands down.
At night it's the best.
It's gorgeous.
But a lot of people that I know, friends, family, people that I met, they can barely pay for rent. They can barely pay for what they need, or they would have to move out and like go to someplace far away and find some way how to commute into the city, which makes it even more difficult for them. And not just Boston, but areas outside of Boston, like Quincy's also on the rise, Braintree, Malden, etc. It's just everywhere. So I would hope maybe like one day they'll implement like some sort of rent control system. They'll bring it down. That way, people can like live in the city again, and at the same time, hopefully, the MBTA would be better. So if people want, they can move far out, and then they can just commute like a 15-minute commute just to the city and done.
Right, get those trains that they have in Japan that just zip you like across the country in like a minute.
Yeah,
That's like
done.
the Elon Musk project. Yeah,
Right.
That's crazy.
The other crazy one is the Boring Company.
Is that the underground? So I think they just rolled that out in Las Vegas, where they like laid all the tunnels down for it, and they're starting it soon. Which I'll be interested to see if that actually
Like
works.
trains underground?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, but like super high speed. We're not talking like subway. Like it's like the Hyperloop concepts, like underground in Las Vegas. You can go from like one complete end of the city to the other in like 30 seconds or something like ridiculous.
That's
like
fast.
Yeah, no, and the Boring Company as well. What they do is they build the tunnels underground to also develop like multi-level highways. So like they'll be stacked together. So you have a car that is compatible with one of these tunnels, like camera sensors and everything, and it'll just like shoot.
Oh.
Yeah, right down.
It'll like clamp onto your car and just like shoot you for like a roller coaster.
You just have to wonder about the safety of all this, Like there's so
like
much
self-driving cars. I can't trust them yet.
Well, and
Not
it's like the Uber Air concept, and it's like these non-piloted drones that they're trying to have fly around the city. It's like so an example is, I think it was some city in Australia, maybe Melbourne. They said that they were going to have it out by 2023. And I was like, there is no way that happens. It's just like,
Technology is still not there.
well,
yet.
no, even if the technology is, like, governments will not certify that.
Yeah.
That's just, we're a very advanced society. I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah. That's okay.
That's crazy.
Maybe 10 years, not 2023. Maybe 10 years.
Yeah,
from now.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, so there's another topic we want to talk about, very different, but I know that you practice, you say Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Can you talk some about that?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm off for the summer because
Okay.
I've been a little too busy with my schedule. But
Doing your work, that's good.
yeah, I gotta grind somehow, grind
Yeah.
non-stop. But so Muay Thai is the art of the 8 limbs. So hands, knees, elbows, shins. It's a martial art that was developed in Thailand, and you can also consider it kickboxing because they do involve like a bunch of kicking. One thing I do want to do is like get into the ring, amateur. Like I want to practice for that. Yeah.
Is there places like where can someone jump into Muay Thai in, I guess, the city of Boston or the general Boston area?
Well, I know there is a place that I used to go to in Somerville called Sit Yotsong. In Quincy, there's a trifecta that I don't know. Are we supposed to be naming these places?
You can, yeah.
Promoting?
Go for it.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you're not saying
Yeah.
like go now and
Yeah.
like you're just like letting people know.
1-800
off.
Muay Thai.
Trifecta where I go, and sometimes I'll just pop in real quick to like spar.
Oh, nice.
Cool. So is that like how good of a source of exercise is that? I would think it's like extremely physically intensive, but is it
Yes.
more or less so than like karate and some of these other kind of forms of martial arts?
Well, the thing is, Muay Thai doesn't focus on all the fancy stuff. Where you'll see like in like karate, etc., where like there's like a spinning, jumping, double backflip kick or whatever. But my coach specifically focuses that people have like a good base. They can balance themselves at least before they potentially hurt themselves. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's definitely something different that I've never heard of personally, but sounds very, very cool. So that's one of the many passions by the Lola interns that people don't really
Yeah, I don't
have
get to
any
hear about.
idea
No,
about.
I'm familiar with Muay Thai because in Street Fighter, the character Sagat he fights in Muay Thai, so we see him like doing the elbows and the knees and everything. Everything is all that, and it's super cool looking.
Well, that's you, Steven.
That's
You're
me.
Sagat.
Nah, that guy, he probably studies Muay Boran. Something else.
Something way more
Cool.
different.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's all the time we have for today. Ramsel, great job as always. Steven, great to learn some more about you. Thanks for coming on the show. We have episode 9.
Coming soon.
That's just going to be a host special with me and Ramsel, so stay tuned for that. This has been Internal Affairs episode 8, the Lola.com intern podcast. Thanks so much, guys. See ya.
Peace out.
Thank you, guys.